engagement. So you notice I kind of push. I do this, and then I let the rope touch, and then I right away. Really, I want to be able to just do this. So we got a motion. Good. Right? We need her to think through things. Good. So she's leaning on this hand a little bit. So I want to let her know that I don't want to touch her with this rope, but if she doesn't respond, I'm gonna have to. Send her out, ask her to bend, ask her to yield, and then we'll transition into a backup to work on that backup and let her know she can trust us. Take that shoulder out, ask for that bend, more of a bend to a stop. Back up. So right here, I'm just waiting for that till she tells me she got it. Waiting for that change in that body. I'm just going to readjust her because she's not. Okay. Not much there, but I saw just a, I don't know, wasn't great, but we went a long way and I wanted to give her something, yeah, right, a little bit more of what I just saw. So sometimes even though it's not great, you got to give something to encourage more. So here I'm going to take that shoulder out and forward. And then hip, back again, up, 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 shoulder out, forward, hind end, backwards again. Now I'm going to switch, connect to this hand, connect to this hand, shoulder out, forward, bend, not bending enough, forward still please, bend, good. Hind end, back up, back up, back up. I know she knows there's a fence there. More lack of trust, right? So once she kind of told me, oh, okay, if you want me to, I will. That's when I stopped. We'll get it better. We'll get it better as she learns to trust me. So bend, hind end, back up. That was real nice. She didn't try to scoot off. She didn't try to run forward. So take her over, forward, bend. No, no, you're not supposed to back. You're just supposed to bend. There we go. Bend, good, bend, bend, good. Nope, forward, bend. If you're getting confused, every little bit of a bend to her is hind end moving over. So we gotta clarify the nuances. Keep my energy right at that girth line. There, that's better. Now we can yield. Now we can yield and back, 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 back. Good girl. And I want to do it with a point, and I don't want to pull on this rope. I don't know if you saw, but that rope was like this. I don't want to pull on her. I want the knot to move just enough for her to recognize. And so now, there's still a few problems, but I feel like my pre-ride checklist has got me in a place where riding is going to be okay. I'm probably going to have to deal with a couple things, but I don't think I'm going to get any real goofy, overzealous behaviors. She's going to do stupid things, I can tell that. But at least it's not going to be anything that's going to get her or me in trouble. I just proved to her that I'm qualified to be up there, that she can trust me. Okay, so I just want to make sure she's going to be okay with this process. So, you know, this is really just asking permission if I can get on. Okay, so first thing I want to do is develop her bending when I move my body. If she goes forward, that's fine, I don't mind. But I need her to soften. See, she's tight. Tight. So I don't do any more until I work this softness out. She's gotta. So she's tight, she's tight, she's tight, she's tight. Here we go. A little better. I need her to follow that. So her basics are missing right here. She's that avoidance. We got to make her more willing. There we go. Before we try to get too much out of her. So I don't care if she picks up her trot. That doesn't bother me at all right now. I mean, I'm gonna slowly ask for that softness until she's starting to match my body rhythm again. But first thing I'm gonna do is get with her, whatever she does. If she goes there, that was nice. If she goes into a trot, and notice I'm really keeping my legs right in there and on, lifting my heel, and I've got a decent bend in the neck sometimes, but that pole still wants to go right. There we go. That's nice. And notice I'm resting my hand and I'm just kind of lifting and then moving my hand out. I don't grab this rein at all. I just slide. Let it go. Slide. Let it go. Slide. Let it go. Slide. Let it go. As long as she there, this is getting a lot lighter now. Good. Good girl. So this is not good. So I'm going to keep her turning until she slows down. And then let her go. So I want to prove to her I can be as invasive as possible, but I'd like her to do the same. We need to match. So notice my right hand, I'm pulsing it now. The energy was quieter, but now I'm pulsing it. Notice I'm going right towards that left ear, right? And then when I switch, I'm gonna take that energy to the right ear, or where the right ear should be. You know, if she's not bent enough and her head's over there, I'm still gonna pulse over here where I want. Now the ear matches, right? It also gives me an idea of whether she's matching me or not, right? And so like right there, I totally missed my right hand. I don't even know what my right hand, I was talking to you, I wasn't paying any attention, right? So mistakes are gonna be made, and it doesn't really matter. Just do whatever. So I'm gonna stop her. That's gonna move over. And so I'm just gonna keep pulsing and bumping and stepping into this foot until she can take a step to the right. And then I might do that to the left. Stop her. And so I'm asking her to turn, but stop. So there is pressure here, but there's more pressure here. This is just keeping her nose in. And you'll notice my wrist is pushing energy towards you right now because that's where I want her to step. And so is my right. It went backwards, but it went left. So we'll fine tune that another time. I just want to know what I got and what she needs. That's the whole purpose of this ride here. It's my first time on her, so I need to know what is the baseline. What do we got? And she prefers Western style steering, heel off, pushing through the outside leg. She can be steered in this way. She will bend around the leg, at least now she will. But part of that stiffness could have been that all she knew was this. Right? Because she seems to be doing okay with that. Back up. Good girl. So I want to try and get her comfortable backing up. So I'm in a neutral seat. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna roll my pockets. I'm gonna take my legs off. I'm gonna take the slack out of the rein. And if she doesn't go, I'm gonna bump and pull at the same time. Right? And I'll go back to the neutral. Sink, legs, slack, neutral, sink, legs, slack, bump together with my hands. And it's just gentle. So yes, I'm pulling with both hands at the same time here, and they're both pulling with the same tension, but we're already stopped. We're not dealing with emotions. We're trying to fine-tune a rein back. So we set, legs, slack. She's not giving me a lot. Right now, I don't care what the hip does or the shoulder does. I just want her confident enough to go backwards. So here I'm waiting for her to figure out that my body is still in neutral. I mean, my body is still asking for the backup. We don't want this to be the cue. We want this to be the cue, so we don't have to do this part, right? And so I'm going to take her forward a little bit. And then this right here, woo. She should go into a backup, right? She should automatically go into that backup as soon as my body sets to her hind end. And I'm still in that backup position. Now I sit up straight. That tells her to stop. Again, pockets, legs, slack. I want to release the slack. She didn't. There we go. A wiggle. Yeah. She did that on just the movement of the knot. I never got to the end of that line. So, pockets, legs, slack, wiggle, wiggle, bump and wiggle, bump and pull actually. So you watch that. Now I'm watching the knot in the shadow, but you can see the knot in your camera. I just want to wiggle that knot. I don't want to have to grab hold of her face. I want to be able to just wiggle that knot. So she's making me grab hold with way more weight, more pressure than I really want to do. So I want to prove to her that this is all I want it to be. So I sit up straight. Now I sink, legs, wiggle, pull. Wiggle. Good. Now, I just made a mistake there. Most people wouldn't recognize it. But she stopped, I sat up. I should have sat up to make her stop. If I was still in that position, I should have encouraged another stride, then sat up and said it's okay to stop, right? Not detrimental, but it does slow down the learning process when you make mistakes like that. So you're gonna make them, so don't be so hard on yourself. Nice. So yeah, that shoulder's coming in a whole lot more than I want, so I'm gonna start lifting my hand and using my right foot near the girth to tell that shoulder. And just like when I was on the ground, I had a hard time getting that shoulder. I don't remember which one was the tough side. But
That
either way,
side.
I had a hard time getting the shoulder out from the ground, and now it's showing up on top. And sometimes it's opposite when you're on them
It
than
might
it is
be.
on the ground. Sometimes it's the exact same problem. When it's the same problem, usually it's something physical with them. Either they just don't have the dexterity, or you know. But when it changes, it's usually a confidence issue, because like when we're on the ground, and let's say they're good to go to the right but not good to go to the left, and we're on this side when we're pushing them, and they'll go just fine. So either they're being evasive with us, or they have confidence in the right eye, or a little of both. And the fact that they maybe won't go this way when we're on this side is no confidence on this side, or confident enough to stand and protest, right? So when it's opposite, it's confident issue. But when it's the same, no matter what, whether you're on the ground or in the saddle, then usually it's a dexterity thing, and they'll usually come out of it that way by just helping them work on those movements. And it's not much different than us being able to write or throw or do certain things with our dominant hand as opposed to our other hand. We can develop the other hand, you know, and we can become just as proficient as our dominant hand, but it's going to take practice. And that's kind of what we got to do with the horse. We got to teach them to be balanced. We got to teach them to be able to do. So right here, she really wants to lean on that right. So there we go. She really wants to lean into that right shoulder. And so when I get off, I'm going to test that and find out, is it the same side or is it not? Because I honestly don't remember which side she was giving me troubles on. So here, I'm going to help her. She doesn't want to. And it's the same problem for this turn on the haunches as well. So that was a try. I want to let her know. Yeah, that was a good one. I'm going to let her right out. And so she's just telling me she don't want to. For her to be able to do it that good and smooth after protesting, she's just telling me she don't want to. That's not wonderful. Good. So now she doesn't want to go to the right. to use the fence. I'm going to come right by you and go down the
You want me
side,
in?
and I'm going to apply my my left rein. I'll go around you. I'm going to apply my right rein and my right leg and see if I can't get her to come away from the fence. So it's a little bit, not great, but again, that was pretty pathetic. Try it down here. Won't try it too much here because the ground's still frozen. Girl. Now I'm getting more action out of the hip than I am the shoulder, but the hip is typically harder than the shoulder, so if she's willing to give me the hip, then that shoulder will probably come soon. Good girl. And you say she gets a little weird with cantering? This is why. Dexterity.
Okay.
She has an issue with her ability. There. Now she's rooting into my hands, so I'm just going to kind of mess with her a little bit. A lot of times I'll just let the reins go and drive her forward, but we're working on something, so
Okay.
I want to get her back too. Okay, so here we're going to use the fence to help her go sideways. There we go. I'm going to do it again. Good. So now I'm going to let her be for a bit. Let her go do some straight stuff. So here I'm going to really bend her because she's being a jerk. As long as she's being polite, I'll give her all kinds of freedom. And I want to challenge her. I want to test her. I want to put her through some difficulties so that I can address the emotions, but I don't want to be so demanding and forceful that we end up in a fight. So I want to find out. I'm going to do this again here. Take her away. Good. Nice. Come off my leg real nice there. Right? And so what's the issue here? And I'm only guessing. But I got to keep doing some more, asking some more questions so I can get to the bottom of it. But I believe she's just saying no to me until I prove myself worthy of listening to. That's what I believe right now. Because she's capable and she's got some attitude. And she has every right. Who am I really to be sitting on top of her and demanding she does everything I tell her to do? I don't want to demand that. And the less I demand of it, and the more I request it and show her she can do it and I can help her. Then she'll start liking me enough to do it. Because obviously she knows how. She was just saying no, right? And so that's something a lot of people should pay attention to right there. You can go out and buy a trained horse that knows everything. And, you go out and ride it on the day that you purchase it, or even go out a couple times and the horse is awesome. Then you take it home and 2 weeks later, you got one that just does not want to do anything for you. The only thing that happened was the horse did not lose its training. What happened was the horse found out it knows more than you do and decided to take over as the leader role. So, for those who trade out their horse because it's not doing as good as it should for them, and they want to go get another trained one, there's a good chance you're going to end up with the same horse in just a few weeks. Might take a few months. Maybe it'll take a year. If you're only missing a few things, it'll take a long time. But if you're missing a lot of stuff, it'll happen real quick. Maybe even in that first week. But if you can take the time and prove to them, just remember, every time you're with a horse, you are qualifying for a position. And the person and the horse is giving you the interview, and the position you're trying to get is their boss. So if they're going to want to give up some of their responsibilities and still get things to work proper, then they got to know for sure that you're qualified for that position. So remember, every time you do something with a horse, you're qualifying for a position. And you need to do the best job you can do to prove to them that you're qualified, right? You're the responsible one. You're the one who's going to make everything better. You're not going to create anxiety. You're not going to give miscues. You're not going to... Everything's going to be smooth, and they're going to enjoy their time with you because it's easy and fun. Okay. So, I don't know what else I want to do here. Maybe I'll try coming up this way and see if I can't pull her off the fence, off my left leg. So she's fighting me. I want to push her off my left leg now. She's fighting my hand. Just give her hell a little bit, make fun of her. Yeah, ready. Good, good, good girl. Okay, but we know she goes right reasonably well. So she thinks I'm talking to the hind end. So I just slide my leg a little forward. Now I gotta go backwards. Good. And let's take her off the fence. And notice my hands are still in the center. I just want my leg to move because I want to keep her straight. I don't want to bend her head in, and I don't want to tip her nose to the right. I just want to keep her head straight and put my leg on. So the fence isn't helping us right now, so she'd give me trouble. Good, good, good. So she wants to fight that left rein, so I'm just going to keep bumping on it until she moves over, and then I'm going to ask her again. Good. Good. I'm hearing some popping in her neck. So chances are she's got like calcium deposits in her vertebrae, and all that stiffness that she carries, all that resistance, that's not allowing it to work itself out because the spine isn't bending. So the more flexible we can get, it'll work itself out. The more she moves, the more it kind of wears away. She definitely needs a little bit of what I'm looking for? Reassurance. She's confident enough in herself, I think, but not in us. So the more I can do stuff and prove to her that I'm going to be as least evasive as possible, as long as she's, like right there, I don't know if you noticed, that was really a soft night there. That's nice and light. You know, and it's one thing, like right now, her neck is straight. She's moving through her shoulder just fine. But what's missing? This nice little bend here is missing. So let's get that. Until we get that, there. Until we get that, we keep asking. Until we find some softness there. So my hand and my heel are working together to request that. Yeah. Now you notice when she comes, that nose goes ahead of the forehead in this direction.
Yep.
So like right here, as she's coming across, her nose is like way ahead of her forehead. Her head is tipped sideways. And so what she's doing, psychologically, is preparing herself to be able to use all the muscles on the top side of her neck to get herself out of trouble. Which means emotions aren't allowing her to give completely. She's only giving some. She's giving enough to allow herself to still feel comfortable enough to get herself out of a predicament and not fully putting her faith into me. And that's fine. I just got to know that that's there. Because if I falsely think that I can pull her around, like, oh, she's doing it on this side too. If I falsely think that I can pull her around and she's twisting her head and coming over like this, one eye down, one eye up, that's not giving. Even if she comes over on the lightest of touch, that's not giving. She's bending, but she's not giving. And if you think about a horse's balance, their eyes are meant to be parallel with each other. If they tip their head and their eyes go like this, there's a good chance they'll topple over because they don't know which way is up. So you're putting yourself in danger by allowing a horse to twist their head sideways like that. So try to remember that. You know, keep those eyes parallel and level with the ground. And then ask them to bend in a way that keeps the eyes parallel. Because if I do this here, and that nose comes, she's not parallel anymore. So, and that's not too far. It's not as far as a lot of horses I've seen. And so that won't cause too much of an issue, but it still could, you know, especially if she's clumsy. She don't appear to be clumsy, but I don't know her very well, so. Yeah, nice. She's not bending, but she's going through the shoulder. Nice. Okay. I feel like I've done enough, so I'm gonna just find a place to quit. And so I wanna stop on a nice stop and a nice back up. So, woo. So she's not doing it. I want to know. There we go. Let's go forward. And whoa. She's trying to escape on me there. So, a noise, pull on the right rein, and a bump with the left leg told her to stop. Now, I'm still in this position, so she needs to back up. Back, back, back. Back, back. There we go. Now I'll sit up. Walk. And move. So I want her to feel like she ran into a wall anytime she doesn't listen to the stop. So here I go. My hands are forward, and I say, whoa. Boom. Back up. So until she stops making, I'm leaning forward here, but my legs are in a proper position. There we go. I'll sit up. Forward with legs, and whoa. That was a little better. But until she stops making me pull on her face, we're going to keep working on it. So I'm going to try and fine tune just a little bit. Just a lean and a step, and a lean and a step, and a lean and a step, and a whoop, lean and a step. Good, that's nice. So let's see if we can do at a walk. And whoa, whoa. Try to be nice to her, but she's not listening. She did good with the leans and the quiet work, so I wanted to give her a try. So her hip is trying to escape. There we go. Good. And let's go forward, and let's go backwards. Woo. Back. And forward, and backward. Back, back. Until she wants to turn around. Good. And forward, and backward. running into the rein. Forward. And so I'm just going to the extremes so that she starts to realize that as I go, when I do this, she should immediately start thinking back up. So that was a little better. She didn't run into it. I still had to apply pressure. And here I'm applying pressure here too. Yeah. I like what I just saw right there.
A nice flat face.
Yeah, and she softened at the pole real nice. Because if she'll tuck her chin like that, that's allowing her back to come up, making room for her hind end to get underneath. I don't want to pull her face under, but I want her to understand to do this relaxed. And the only way she's going to be able to do it relaxed is if she sets her body up properly. So she's trying. So I'm gonna keep just kind of wiggling that knot. Sit up. Oh, that was nice. She can do that again. I'll probably jump right off. Nope. One more time. See what happens. And still light, but she's hesitating, so we're gonna go again. And I like that. Okay, whoop, I don't like that. So I'm gonna give her hell a little bit, and then we're gonna do it again. Not awesome, but it's a good start to get appreciation.